All right, so we are on the Black Wolf Awakens. It could just be something simple, like a plus one or to something, or a minus one to me, or if you want to have a particular, an incident happen. I mean, just what would you consider to be, a small boon or bane for or against? You could even go, if you want to play against me, you're welcome to. Um, if you want to, have an influence, then hey, shout something out there, and I'll work with you on it. And Black Wolf, thank you again for re-upping. And hey, congrats on the 6 months. You have that nice salsa con queso now. Very cool. And there is a cat on the back of the chair here. So we haven't really had a cat butt per se, but you know what? If a cat is here, cat butt can still be spammed, and I think it's legit. So y'all are welcome to share that. Or yeah, if you have coffee cat hype, you can spam that as hey, no. Oh, okay. Now she's being nice. Like, oh well, I'm gonna rub against your hand. I gave you mozzarella, cat, and this is how you repay me. Ah, no! Don't get your claws caught in there. It's a new chair, and I knew I shouldn't have gone for this, like, whatever simulated leather or whatever it is, but it was difficult to find a cloth chair. I mean, it'd end up shredded anyway, but at least you. I love you. Bless your heart. No, it's not working. Stop it, seriously. I have a spray bottle. Yeah.
Peter.
Now, my gosh. Woman. Hi. I respect you as an individual, but woman, listen to me. Ah! You're so full of love and curiosity and joy for the world, and I appreciate that, but just not on my furniture. Oh gosh. Yeah, well, she's looking at me like, what are you gonna do? Well, no, it's just whatever, a generic spray bottle you can get at a whatever, like a dollar store or whatever. And all I have to do is wiggle it. If it makes the sloshing sound, she understands, because she doesn't like water. But the other one, he's just a big old slug, and I could just spray him forever, and he's like, what? Huh? Anyway. So when we hashtag mozzarella cat. So when we left off, we had camp was being like really fleshed out for the night. They're going to be bringing out food apparently, and you all are invited. Selene has been. I mean, if I say laid to rest, that's very morbid, but she has been laid down to rest on some pillows, and Seltur's just kind of, they're just kind of putting out the vibe. And Mordecai, you're attending to Selene.
Yep.
All right. So the evening, or the evening goes into nighttime, and the mood on this night seems lighter. Instead of the more militaristic, like the tents, the bivouacs here in the camp, everything kind of set up regimental. There's a festive mood. There is actually a couple people are playing some small instruments, and there's even there's food that doesn't appear in any way to be military rations that's brought out. We're talking fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. We're talking like a large roasted suckling pig, even, and that is, it's spiced. Oh my god, you could smell the herbs and spices just from here. Fresh rolls. I mean, we're talking stuff that, I mean, would be awesome if you're in a feasting hall or a really nice tumbled wench or another similar inn, where they have these facilities. But I mean, you haven't really seen the interiors of the ships, but what is being provided here is rather shocking. But the troops seem to like it. They're digging in, they're singing and dancing, Y'all are still under guard. Don't get me wrong. They haven't slacked up on that. Um, but there's just an air of merriment happening, and you are offered whatever fair share. So Seltur, if you want to partake of the roast beast, or there's various wines or just side dishes. You're
If
welcome.
there's a vanity project ad of advice, most assuredly tell you I am partaking, and perhaps even enforcing upon particularly, how shall we end up placing this, inexperienced guards and otherwise. Might even pull one of them and put them in my lap, treat them like a child while they're feeding the mother's milk and wonderful ales and such.
Uh,
Just because it amuses me greatly.
and I'm sure you know many a Baudry drinking song or other words of celebration.
Honey, you know I invented half of them.
I just looked at the guard and asked him, "Where did you get a live animal?"
I can't really say. All I know is that our commander provides for us when we do a good job.
Including live animals. She didn't
Yeah.
tell us that the other day. She actually lied. She said the opposite.
Yes, well. Pardon me, sorry. We have what we have. We were told that we did a very good job, and so we're being provided for.
Fascinating.
I would
I'm sure
imagine.
that she goes,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I imagine that she would want to make her way over here. She'll want to see at some point in time. I did have to let her know that you had a moment of intimacy, though. I was very careful not to spill too many details.
I appreciate your
Oh,
candor.
Certainly. Now, if you don't mind, this is a rare feast for me, and I am going to go partake. Is Selene still unconscious? He kind of like looks down at her.
She'll be all right.
She's actually probably snoring lightly at this point. Yeah.
All right. All right. So the night continues on. Seltur, you can see that the one guard you're interacting with, because you're sitting, you're observing. A couple, like the one guy goes over to another, and he's like making motions in your direction, like taunting someone else, like yeah, go. There's like waving his hand, and you don't. There are certain just ways that people express themselves that can cross political boundaries and even species. Even as the Dragonborn you are, you understand that the one guy's trying to goad a friend of his to go and approach you.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I think I'll approach.
All right, so you'll stand up and take some steps forward. There is a guard who will say, "Excuse me, Seltur. I can bring something to you, but you must stay a certain distance away from your camp. Is there something that I can bring?"
Oh, there is, but you see, that one over there is a little bashful. That one wants to end up here, getting him to end up stepping up forward, but doesn't end up having to go and coming up himself and make the introductions. So I thought I might just, skip the awkwardness and end up just getting up there myself. After all,
He looks. Oh, you mean Walf? Yeah.
oh,
Hey, Walf!
wow.
And he makes a motion, and the one guy who's been prompted is going to come over to you, and to because I do want to be time sensitive. We can either we can come back to it or detail, but the one person who's being prompted will get close, will be prodded to come up to you, Seltur. and we can have that exchange. Right? I just want to be time sensitive since lethality has to go in about 45
No,
minutes.
not a problem. Not a problem. What I'm gonna say is, how about we just roll a persuasion and we'll hammer out the details
Sure.
afterwards.
Okay. One moment then. 28. So that is
That's
a
a
maximum. See, you all paid your dues earlier. This is the gambler's fallacy. It has been proven to be true. 100% of the one time we've tested it.
That man is putty in my, and I assure you, I will play.
Okay, so we will, saying fade to black is very interesting in the context of Seltur. Just given the fact that she is a black dragonborn, so. All right, so this person will be prompted by his one friend, and we'll have an interaction. So the music and now festivities is not like people are getting hammered per se. There is music being played. Some people are doing native dance to the Shadowheart Empire, which Mordecai in your own way, regardless of tensions, it's still entertaining. You're learning a different style, so there's some kind of a takeaway, even if you don't necessarily like the relationships that are behind it. The expressions are at least authentic. It doesn't look like they're putting on a show or anything along those lines.
I appreciate other cultures.
And so we have Seltur, who is otherwise a little preoccupied. Mordecai, you do see that Commander Lily is walking towards you, towards your table here, and she has. Oh, you have you have dark vision. You can see that she has her one attendant, whatever this magic caster presumably is, and she also has the doctor with her. And are you doing anything before she reaches you, or she's not making a show of things? She's not being obvious like the one guy was for discretion's sake. But it looks like she's striding through the sand and will be there in about a minute or so.
Nope, I just sit up straight, ready to greet her.
Okay. All right, so the three of them walk up. Mordecai, it is a pleasure to see you again. I understand that you had quite the day.
Quite.
And she looks down to Selene, and looks back over, and her eyes are. Her eyes flick over you, and she has a half smile on her face, but her eyes still remain rather serious as they examine you. I see that your poor uniform ended up being damaged in the altercation, so to speak.
Yes. Well, such is the thrills of passion, I guess.
I suppose so. And I also can't help but notice that you have a bit of a blush of wife to your rosy cheeks.
It's been a little while since that.
I must ask, did you finish her, or is she still
No.
with us?
She's still with us.
I
wouldn't dare.
Well, and she gives a bit of a shrug. I believe that our doctor can tend to her and bring her back around. I imagine it was quite the sumptuous feast. 2 nights in a row. How do you feel, Mordecai? And so she's engaging in conversation, but the doctor very quietly, I mean, he's not sneaking, but he doesn't say anything. He walks over to Selene and kind of crouches over her and is, like testing her forehead and kind of like lifting up her eyelid and...
Yeah, no, at this point, she's there, she's just asleep.
So some conversations being had, Mordecai, and the doctor looks up at the commander And I believe that I can fix her. It will require a bit of an expenditure, but she's not dead, and I can restore her back to her fullness. She is looking a little um, a little switer than she was. The commander looks down. Please do so then, Doctor. And Mordecai, you're asked to take a step back, and the doctor kneels down beside Selene. And one moment, I want to make sure that I am describing this correctly. I mean, I'm going to put my own twist on it, but I went too far. There we are.
To be fair, a lot of people might be saying, so.
He pulls her hair back and is saying a prayer that, in his own accented common, is rather similar to ones you heard Selene say in your time together, and it is to Weejas. I mean, you may not be familiar with this one, but he is invoking Weejas here. And as he does so, he is taking some water, and he's putting it on her head, and is like running it through her hair, and then he comes down, and he drops some more water over her, and just sort of lets it lie where it is. I see where the energies, where the blood is needed most. Now, this may hurt her momentarily, but she will be just as good as new.
If you would be so kind as to explain that a little further.
Well, it would seem that in her throes of passion, she must have very, very violently whipped your buttons from your coat, and even mishandled a lantern. Look at these terrible burns that are on her hand. She is also missing quite a lot of blood, and fortunately, I have a way to remedy all of these maladies. Coffee, I lost video to you. Do you still see me, or is...
No, I need to reconnect, I think.
Okay. Hey, there you are. All right, very good. Behold, Mordecai, for those who are truly faithful and are blessed with the power of their gods or goddesses. And he begins chanting as he's sprinkling this water. And as he does so, you see that her skin begins to like ripple, especially around her hand, and the pieces of metal are pushed out, and the burns begin to recede back into her skin. And Selene, your consciousness is restored as blood is being regenerated inside of your body. And any sort of aches or pains that you had, heck, I don't know, maybe you even got a chipped tooth somewhere along the lines. You might have been in a couple scraps, or I don't know, you're eating very heartily and kind of chomp down on a fork or something. But your body, in your conscious state now, your body begins to repair itself. And you see this man, this priest over you, And as he is close to you, as he's knelt over performing this this spell, there is a soft glow, almost like a warm ember, coming from his chest that you can see through his tunic. I guess his like doctor's outfit.
Hmm.
Will she be conscious soon?
Make it either an Arcana or a Religion, Selene,
Yep. Shall we
or even a Medicine. It's up to you.
I'll make that a medicine.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
This
Damn, there goes that idea. Went through all that pain for nothing.
as your body's becoming whole, you in a moment, because this is something very personal to you here, you see that your damage, like your blood itself is being repaired, and any damage to your body is being undone. And as this is happening, I mean, you're laying on your back and your eyes widen as the spell is continuing to take its course, that this could have an effect on your tattoos.
Right. A little later, I might have to have Mordecai check that.
Okay, so you're laying there as he's working, and you're gonna have Mordecai check you later.
In fact, actually, like after all is said and done, Selene will actually like slowly wake up and sit up.
Yeah, you come to, you're conscious, like your body, you feel your body just like filling out again and energizing, and you see the pieces of metal just like plop out of your hand. You have very like baby soft skin.
All right.
Selene looks down and she's like, Mordecai,
Uh-huh.
is there something missing from my back?
I go to look. Is the black lining of her tattoo still there when I pull the neck down a little bit?
Yeah, so as you're looking, it's beginning to fade over the course of this regeneration. Like you see that the edges are starting to kind of
Oh,
like.
and I get the cleric to stop.
And while you do that as well, so you're like, oh, hold up, to the doctor, not me to you, Coffee. But you also see that as Selene is here, and you touch her back, and you're watching this happen. She kind of gives a shudder, and Selene grows a couple inches in front of you.
All right. Your height is restored.
She's like, well, that's wonderful, but
Like, did the tattoo fade completely, or is it still?
Well,
'Cause I would have got him to stop as soon as I saw it starting to fade.
yeah. So
I think we've seen the most important question here.
Mm-hmm.
Is her muffin top still intact?
Not as much
Well,
because she grew a couple inches, so it's sort of tightened up a little bit. I mean, she still has a adorable adorable little half elf pudge, but it's not as noticeable. And so he stops as Mordecai, as you're calling attention, and he looks. Oh yes.
okay.
Well, I
That's
suppose the
important.
majority of the damage has been repaired. You're welcome. And he gets up. The sand. He kind of dusts off himself. Doctor looks at the commander. I believe that she has made a full recovery. Commander simply nods. Commander looks to you, Mordecai. Please understand, Mordecai, that this service provided is somewhat taxing. And while I certainly want you to enjoy your lover or your source of blood, or both, we cannot be doing this too often now. Please, Mordecai, be a little more careful in the future.
Of course.
Besides bringing Selene around again, is there anything else that we may do?
I'm curious as to where you got a wild animal.
Well, we have a particular way of producing food while we are out. I am not at liberty to discuss the details, but for the most part we try not to indulge while we are out. However, today being the day that it is, we decided to celebrate a bit. And so you are seeing...
What is today?
Today is the day that we have received an order.
You said we would know as soon as you did.
Ah, and you are, in its own way. I did not tell the others what the order is, simply that we would be breaking out our rations. Well, our extra rations. And she will, she'll give a genuine smile as her eyes flick over you, Mordecai, you, Selene, and she looks over to Seltur, who's still doing some sort of carousing on the side. Fill in the blank / fade the black here.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of sweets and being exchanged with these two, I can assure you. Making sure he spills everything.
It would seem that we are about ready to move out. And so, before we do, possibly putting my brave men into danger, I wanted to make sure that they would be provided a good meal, even at the expense of resources.
Where are we headed?
That much I cannot tell you, but you will be coming with us, and you will find out when you find out.
Right.
See, I kind of would like to know. Because our path takes us to Mesomasca. You only have to answer a yes or no. Does your path take you in that direction?
We are certainly heading south. Yes. And there's your freebie.
Then for a moment, our paths are aligned.
Good. I look forward to a continued working relationship with you, Mordecai, and Selene. Again, in a measured, she really does legitimately try and pronounce your L, Selene. Enjoy, as I'm sure my men will. My men and women, she'll add. And, yes, a working relationship. And if you find yourself in need, I will do my best to accommodate it, as I have so far. You are guests, and perhaps prisoners, in some sense, but I would like you to consider yourselves to be more guests than prisoners. Or guests with complications, I suppose.
It's a bit odd how one goes about treating their guests in the Shadowheart Empire, but I suppose I should be more open to the idea of other cultures.
Please do. If you were at my house, then I would be treating you very differently, Mordecai.
I'm sure.
And she'll turn and make her way with the two others back to the ship. Both ships are actually they're landed and down, and the men are, I mean, men and women. There's presumably some that are still, there's some that are attached to you as a guard, quote unquote. There's probably others that are still aboard the ship. At any given time, one might be kind of going to take a quick little potty break behind a dune or something, but they're here. There's a fire. There's a feast as sorts. I mean, we're not talking this is like a holiday banquet with all the trimmings and fixings. But this is more than presumably what they've gotten out in the desert so far. And so we will leave the scene here as the night continues. The moon is rising high, and the fires in the desert are such that it's providing a nice warm glow like you see in the picture here with the sands. And we will pop over now to Norallie and Bright, who, when last we knew, were at Lake Red Eye.
Right, I think you're right. Part of the gametog egratted part. It ages out to PG-13.
It does average out to PG-13. That is true. Oh gosh. All right. Well, meanwhile, across Mesotopia, we have Norallie and Bright, who just had a moment of bonding together. It was very nice and meaningful. What you doing?
Where are we? And are we in the tumbled wench, or? Track?
So you had asked to be moved to a different place, and
yeah,
that
we
could
just
be
asked for a different room, but he said we could only have a different hotel instead.
Yes.
But that's actually better, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll recycle this scene. We'll just have to suspend our disbelief, and say that you make your way over to the other location, which I think I came up with I rolled up a name for it, but I don't know if you remember offhand what it was.
Yeah, well, I don't think you told us yet.
Okay, that could be so. But yes, you'll be given that note from the proprietor of the Tumbled Wench here, which is continuing to pass on the word of good faith, and from the magic item shop owner, the scroll shop owner.
Okay.
And the place that you are led to is named the Howling Stag.
Okay.
It is giving quite a mighty bellow.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have a stag hanging up there.
It is not as yeah. Oh hey, yeah. There we go. It's not as nice. It's not a trashy place by any means, but it's just not a nicer, full tavern and inn with entertainment and whatever. This is, you're going to the Holiday Inn Express. They'll put you up. It's a clean room. They might have you a continental breakfast of sorts, but that's about it.
Oh, that's nice. We can learn new skills while we're here.
Yes, that's true. All the flyers they're putting up around town as people showing that they've improved their intelligence scores by staying at the at the Howling Stag. All right, so yep, you're here. You have a decent room. Your line of credit is good here, and you're told that if you need directions to places, they'll give it to you. Otherwise, they serve some like bread and grits and some other basic stuff in the mornings.
So, what was it, Norallie? I didn't catch that. I was listening to someone else.
I'm pretty. What did I say? I think you're overreacting. We could have just stayed in the. There wasn't anyone watching. I know that picture with the fish was kind of creepy, but you know, it wasn't that bad.
No, there was actually literally people watching. I know maybe you couldn't see it because I was the one with the detect magic, but there was literally a spell that was watching us. So, and it went away. So hopefully it's gone, and hopefully they didn't follow us here. But I would have cast detect magic just to make sure that we weren't followed.
Okay. You do, and you're noticing that there's still the same amount of like little magic items people are wearing. That there is illusion magic that people have on them, so that could increase your paranoia. But
for clairvoyance or arcane eye scanners or
no,
sensors.
You're not getting any sort of mystical floating magical eyeball stuff that's observing you.
Okay, I feel better about that. So, Norallie, do you know how to disguise yourself? Because I know you can turn invisible, but I don't know how to turn invisible. But do you know how to change the way you look?
Yeah, didn't you see how I did it to look like Mordecai? I have this little kit. It has all these masks and stuff. Oh, and Mordecai left a bunch of clothes, so I have all that too. So I can disguise. It just takes me a few minutes to do it.
Okay, that might do. So yeah, so I'm really afraid of the Thieves Guild. They'll probably come looking for us. I mean, did you get any kind of sense of what they were?
Why would the Thieves Guild?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of things that are valuable.
Well, no, because we're selling the magic stuff to the one guy. So technically, we have a lot of money, but that's not on us because he hasn't given it to us yet. So
yeah, hopefully he'll have that for us tomorrow. That would be really nice. But the valuable stuff, and I think he's probably more interested in us for us because you had his magic dog, right?
And the magic what?
Didn't you say that Fenry used to belong to him?
No, Fenry's mine. I don't think he belonged to anyone else.
So out of character, what have you told me about because I know what actually happened, but I don't know what you told me. Which is exactly the wrong thing for me to know right now.
Well, my little sheet. Okay, so Norallie would have said that they're going to Mask of Horns. They're looking for her brother. Didn't say her brother's name. And pretty much the entire conversation she would have relayed to you that she could, because that's how she is. She said we take a boat in a few days, nothing specific. She did say Mr. Halver's name, and that he taught her magic. Didn't say anything else about her magic being, just her, because she doesn't really understand that. She mentioned Mordecai, Selene, and you by name. And although she mentioned that Mordecai and Selene could possibly be dead, she mentioned DJ and a river, not which river, and a bridge. Yeah.
Hey. Well, I was more thinking because what actually happened is that they were talking about how Fenry used to belong to them, and then Fenry decided he wanted to stay with you instead, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But the bright.
I don't think they said they belonged to him. They said that Fenry was important to them, but not that he was owned.
Okay. Well,
because if they said that Fenry belonged to them, she probably would have left him with him. This is your dog.
Okay, so that's okay. I still don't know if you told me that or not, though.
She probably would have.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because she said that he came to life and was talking.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So now we know that they're interested in Fenry. So as long as we have Fenry, they'll probably keep looking for us. But I don't want to just give them Fenry because they're bad. So and
I don't think so.
they would
because-
probably mistreat him and use him for bad things, and I don't want that. So I don't think we should give them Fenry. But as long as we have him, they'll probably come looking for us.
No,
and
because
they already
if they wanted to keep Fenry, they would have told me they wanted to keep.
okay.
I was there talking to them, having a long conversation, and they gave me cookies. They wouldn't give me cookies if they wanted Fenry.
Yeah, I think they would probably still give you cookies in that case. Actually, I think it might actually increase the chances that they would give you cookies. So anyway, these people are obviously up to no good, and they're probably allied with the vampires in Shadowheart. I don't know why. I don't have it.
You didn't even eat them.
But I'm not really assuming that because I know that that they have vampires like Ides, who we both met. Or you? I guess I didn't meet him. Did you actually meet Ides, or did you just hear his name?
No, I just heard about Ides because I kind of
Okay.
played a trick, and he opened the door and he's like, "Is that you, Ides?" And
Yeah.
a big gruff voice, and then I snuck in. That's all I really
Same
heard.
thing. Actually, it was pretty similar. I think we had the same ideas there. But okay, so I don't actually know who he is, and I guess you don't actually know who he is either, and that's bad because he's the one person that we might know who he is. There's stuff we could do. If we really wanted to track him down, we could disguise ourselves or turn invisible or send in Peggy Sue or an arcane eye or, there's lots of things we can do but I don't know that should be our first priority. I think our first priority
Does it
should just
really
be getting
matter
out of
who
town without
Ides
getting
is?
spotted. Yeah, it matters a lot because we know that
What if he's
okay,
just
so
a guy?
guy he's in the Thieves Guild, and I know where he works. He works at a warehouse. It was the warehouse that I tracked the vampire to, and I found the vampires living in a little box, and he had stuff. I stole some of his stuff, so we can probably find him later with the scrying spell that I've been trying to learn. But the
if you stole his stuff, you definitely shouldn't find him.
yeah,
Because then he'd be upset.
I don't really care if he's upset. he's bad. He's a vampire and not like Mordecai. So yeah, it's tough. Anyway, I don't know why you want to trust these people because they're bad in so many ways. We know that they're thieves, which is already kind of a big, and we know that they're harboring vampires, and we know that they're allied with the Shadowheart, and that's just too many bad things about them to give them any kind of trust at all.
You didn't even meet them.
Yeah.
We could be talking about different people.
I don't
probably
think so.
not that rare of a name.
I don't think so.
Norallie's clearly drunk on cookies, and the last time you were bright was back in Uct, so...
Yeah.
It's not as bad as the time with the pancakes, though. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, I just think we should, when we have to, and I don't know if it's safe for us to take a boat because we know that they're the longshoremen, and that means that they have spies on boats. They might have told their friends to be looking for us. Just being on a boat at all is probably not very safe right now. So maybe they're faster.
You know how many boats go out here? We can go on any of the boats.
Yeah, but the trouble is we don't have any way of knowing which boats are safe and which boats are not safe, if any of them are safe. There are boats that are not safe, but I don't know that there are boats that are safe. We don't know. Maybe we can ask around. Maybe we can ask around in the tavern and see what we can see. But right now I know that there are boats that aren't safe, but I don't know of any boats that are, and that's bad. That puts the odds not in our favor. I don't like odds that are not in our favor. Odds that are in our favor.
I prefer evens.
Okay, I would also settle for evens, but we don't even have evens.
Zero is neither odd nor even.
No, zero's even. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I think we should be extra careful tonight. I'll set my alarm spell. But I think maybe tomorrow we can try disguises. You could put on a Mordecai disguise, and then I could change myself to look like someone
I
who
have
would
some
go with
extra
it.
masks if you want to wear them.
I know, but see, I have all this pink floof, and I don't want to cut off my floof. It would be easier for me to just, magically change it so I look different, and I can do better that way.
Okay.
Cut off my floofs, I will, but I'd be very sad.
You can be alright.
So, anyway, let's, I would like to, am I gonna, I don't want to use my grizzled halfling, and I don't want to use my nondescript halfling. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I am going to change myself so I look like a different gnome. Yeah, that's kind of it. Nondescript gnome number 3. Yeah. This will be a little rock gnome moment. So I won't sound that different. I might talk a little different, but I'll just have different features. I'll have a bigger nose and no floofs. That'll be more like a bun. And you can just tell rock gnomes, they just look a little more grizzled, kind of like dwarves versus humans. They're about the same size. They're just a little more, lumpy.
Okay. So Norallie Bright turns into, you might have to take her word for it. You might not have ever seen a rock gnome, but this is what. I was going to say too. So Bright is magically changing herself. Norallie, you have several costumes. Which form are you taking?
So this is just for me to look around in the tavern and gather some information. I wasn't necessarily
this is solo?
thinking.
Okay.
You thinking we were ready to set out just yet? Although that is a good question. What time of day is it?
We'll say that it's getting towards evening for you.
Okay.
Because you had your adventure, you got back together, you're followed, magical rituals, etc. and so forth. Traveled a little bit across town to this other place, and now here you are after settling in. So yeah, we'll say it's like 5 p.m. Good time for dinner if you're hungry.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to head out just yet because I'm a little low on magic because we've had a very busy day.
It has been.
I used a lot of power when we were at...
No, wait. I think quitting time was around 5 last night or so in the warehouse. So, no, this would be later. We're probably talking like 8 p.m. So it's actually dark. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Getting dark.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Okay. So there'll be more people in the tavern and things to talk to.
In this place... not really, because they don't serve a dinner. There's like a meeting place. There's a couple people who are probably just, I don't know, sitting in chairs talking, but there's not a dinner served here. You're gonna have to go out and get something yourself. They just provide sort of like, they bring in some, some bread and fruit and kind of offer it out on a table in the morning for people who want to peck at it.
Okay. I guess we should go get some dinner. Something cheap would be nice because we're still pretty poor.
I have 21 pieces of gold, so...
Oh, okay. Well, that's 20 pieces more than I have.
This is normal. It's like twisting the dagger and poor Bright. Oh, you mean all this gold?
It's like, what are you talking about? I got all this money.
Even so, cheap is better because it's cheaper, and I don't necessarily want to attract a lot of attention right now. Oh, I've been living on rations for a while, and yeah. I think we should. This might be the last chance we have to get good food for a while. So we should find something, that's not too expensive, but healthy and good value. Is there a Chipotle in town?
Need that Chipotle.
I'm sure we could find some sort of an equivalent of a kind of a medium priced. It's not fast food. It's food served quickly.
Good food fast.
And they'll so yeah, you can find a place that's similar. Just a variety of ingredients. They'll make different bowls or whatever for you. If you want different fishes or veggies or the like, and then they'll cook it up for you. We'll treat it kind of like a little Mongolian barbecue if you've ever been to a BD's.
Except without the barbecue, hopefully for me.
Well, you don't you don't have to have meat, but yeah, they can prepare veggies for you and other things.
Okay, I'll have a nice stir fry.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll turn myself into the rock gnome.
Okay.
For that.
Is this a town that wears masks outside usually?
It's not. No, it wouldn't be enforced. This is I think a small size city, so you can. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who are, but it's not enforced. Like not until you get to Old Port. Well, you're going to Westport or Mask of Horns. There you'll have to. Here you don't, but you can.
Then.
Okay.
I won't bother with a mask because I'm foreign and we wouldn't know the custom anyway. Or we wouldn't like the custom. So I don't want to wear a mask if I don't have to. So okay. Oh, it's okay.
All right, so we have Old Rock Gnome and Norallie, or Norallie as.
It's me. I just have a different mask.
Okay, all right, sure. That's fine. So you're out at this restaurant. Are you? I don't know. Are you just sitting and eating? Is there any sort of information? There's not really like a dark corner that a bunch of seedy-looking people are sitting in.
Oh, well, I just kind of want
we
to
should sit in the
lay
corner.
things.
CD people.
Yeah, I mean, whatever corner we're sitting in is the corner with CD people.
Some young adventurers come walking in and sit down next to you and hoping that you'll give them a quest.
Yeah, find out who the Thieves Guild are and who Ives is.
It's not a bad hook. They might do it.
And try not to die.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, and also there's vampires. Good luck.
If you encounter fate, turn the other way.
Okay, so, I mean, if there's anybody who looks particularly personable, then that's great. Otherwise, I don't know that I have... I mean, I have stuff I can do. So I just want to look and see if there's anybody who looks particularly personable or anything. Anybody who looks like they'd be welcoming to someone who just came up and joined them.
Yeah, so there's I don't know, two families that are here. Human family, tiefling family. There's an older couple that clearly missed the early bird dinner special, and instead are they're paying full senior discount price, and then just some younger mixed groups. It's not heavily packed, but most of the tables are full. There's conversation. Things seem to be in pretty good spirits. Again, mostly humans and tieflings here. Your waitress is nice. She seems personable.
Okay, Norallie, can I have a couple of silver pieces? Have any
You're
silver
gonna have
pieces?
to make change. I have gold.
Well, okay. Okay, maybe can I get some change at the
Sure, you can go up and get a couple gold coins broken. Nothing is going Bright's way today.
So how much did dinner cost?
Well, this is slightly nicer. Nice fresh veggies. Good family friendly atmosphere. we'll say that it was 7 silver apiece for your dinner.
Goodness sakes. Okay.
Yep.
It's pretty expensive. Okay. Well, at least that means they can make change. Okay, well, never mind. I have silver now. but no gold. I spent my last gold on vegetable stir fry.
Well, now I have
Well, I mean,
silver.
of all the things you could have spent it on, there's a lot worse.
I know. At least I didn't try to get a tattoo.
You can. Plenty of places here in Lake Rideye that'll do it for you.
Yeah, no.
Most won't ask
that's not-
questions.
You know, I've heard of people who... Well, never mind. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I'll go over and talk to the elderly couple.
Okay. Sure.
Go
You
over.
go over. There's an elderly tiefling couple that are, they're talking in Infernal, enjoying their own meals, their bowls
Okay.
of whatever. You come tottering over.
Hi, my name's Fizzy. Do you mind if I join you?
I suppose, Fizzy. Is there something? Did we drop something? Sometimes we're known to drop things.
Well, I don't know. Let me look. Did they drop anything?
Nothing in particular. No. I mean, it's just, maybe
Oh.
one of them dropped a spoon, like off the table.
Actually, I saw you drop this silver piece, so I thought I'd return it to you.
What? No, mine. He holds out a. Well, would you look at that?
Spend so much money on information.
Well, Fizzy, thank you so much. I'd love to reward you.
You can. See, my friend and I, and I'll gesture over to Norallie. We're
Puts it in his pocket.
we're travelers. Are you travelers too, or do you live here?
Oh, we've lived here all our lives.
Well, that's wonderful.
Beautiful
That's just
lake
the sort
place.
of person I was looking for.
Oh, and we have children and grandchildren and even some great-grandchildren.
Are any of them named Ides by any chance?
He looks over to his wife. Are any of them named Ides? And she looks, nope, don't remember if they are.
It's just a remember. It's just a name I heard, and I really liked it. So if you had anyone who was named Ides in your family, that would be really lucky. But it's okay. So anyway, my friend and I were travelers, and we're looking for.
Oh, luck! Yes! You totally reminded me! And he looks over to his wife. Don't you remember? It's the custom, right? It's what. And he leans down. He tries to rub your head.
It's okay, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, you can rub our head for good luck. It works that way.
yeah. Plenty of sailors told me that over the years. If you ever see a
Especially
gnome,
mine. Everywhere I go, everybody around me has really good luck. That's why I'm
Yeah.
a traveler, so I can spread my good luck everywhere.
you found that
Do I have to
silver
roll
piece we
deception?
dropped.
I think I'll roll deception. 20.
Hey,
Okay.
there. That's
Oh,
fine.
wow.
I won't contest it.
Anyway, we're looking for passage on a boat to go to and we've kind of heard some stories about what's in this town. They're not always. I mean, a lot of the captains are kind of seedy, and we're looking for somebody who's really nice and above board, and isn't going to bring us any extra drama, if you know what I mean, but also who's affiliated with any kind of unsavory characters.
Oh, yeah. Well, if that's what you're worried about, then you got to make sure that you're not traveling with captains that are going out to farm country, or you want to catch them after they're leaving the pillow house, and that should take care of that problem for you.
Even the pillow house, isn't that the sort of place where CD characters would tend to gather?
Generally, but then they often leave without.
I see. So you're saying, okay, that makes sense. And do you know anybody like that? Anybody specifically that's, trustworthy?
Well, if you're looking, I mean, and he's being a little flustered, and his elderly wife is like, What do you mean? Do you know about these places? Huh? Well, you see, I, as a younger man,
Sure, it was before he met you, many, many years ago.
And he kind of like, he's looking at his wife is looking back at him, and he looks down at you. He's like slowly starts reaching down to try and rub your head again.
You can rub my head. It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm those days are long behind me. Anyway, if you need discretion, yeah, there's plenty of captains who can, take you here and there, or if there's a certain method that you are seeking to pay for your passage, if you get what I mean. I'm implying things. It's a great innuendo.
Yeah, no. With us, we're happy to pay gold. We just want the safest trip we can possibly arrange. That's all.
Oh yeah, well, plenty of passenger ships. If you are willing to pay a higher price, there's ones that carry even richer people, and those are usually well guarded from any sort of banditry that could take place on the river, or other foolery, Tom or otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, that seems just like what we're looking for right now.
If you want probably what would be maximum security, I know that there's a gambling riverboat that makes the trip up and down from Lake Right-Eye to Mask of Horns, and there's plenty of security you'd find there, given the fact that it's a casino on the water.
Yeah. Does the fact that it's a gambling boat attract unsavory characters? It seems like it would.
But you know why they're there, at least. I think that's kind of refreshing.
Okay, well, thanks very much. You've been a lot of help. Do you want to give me a last rub for good luck?
Oh, thank you. And he reaches down, and the wife reaches across. I think you've rubbed her enough, dear. Why don't you...
Okay, I mean...
You said we were the R-rated ones.
No, but...
You beat me to it.
This look isn't as cute as my other look. Maybe I couldn't help it. I'm still cute. It wasn't supposed to be so cute.
I hope you find what you need.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. I'll go back to Norallie.
Norallie just reaches over and rubs her head.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Yeah. Because the floofs are still real. You can still kind of feel the floofs. Okay, so they didn't know anything. It was kind of a bust. It was...
we could, we
Didn't know
could
anything.
go to, like, the docks and talk to people and be like, hey, who's the best captain? Who doesn't let shady figures on their boats?
Yeah. The trouble is, they might not tell us the truth. I was looking for somebody who would tell us the truth. And they told us the truth that they're just kind of old and doddering and don't know what they're talking about. But they didn't lie, at least, so that was a nice, refreshing trip. Okay. Well, have you finished your burrito bowl? Call it? I don't remember what you ordered. Okay. Well, I guess we have time to go to the docks, if you'd like, and maybe we can find somebody who's leaving tomorrow, that we can trust. It's so hard to know who to trust.
Yeah. Plus, we gotta remember that we need to make sure they have room for, Bryson and Melissa.
Okay. Well, why don't we go down to the docks and find somebody then?
Okay.
So, I will, once my spell starts to wear off, because, it's only good for an hour, but we're probably here for about half an hour, do you suppose?
Probably a little bit longer. By the time you're seated and they get your stuff whipped up and, you've eaten, you talk to the old folks. It hasn't been a full hour. I'd say 45 minutes.
Okay, so, dogs, I'm going to change the way I look again, but this time I'm going to change into a little baby tiefling girl.
Okay.
And so, Norallie, I'm going to pretend to be your niece, and you can pretend to be my aunt. Would that be okay?
Okay. I think about it. Alright, that's fine.
Okay. So, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, so the floofs kind of like twist up into little horns in appearance, and just you take on the appearance of a little tiefling girl, and you and Auntie go out to the docks at 8:45 at night. Where are you going?
You don't want to stay too late, because we'll get in trouble. There'll be unsavory characters. Well, I would like to try to find. The one thing that we did get that was good information from them was that there are some ships that cater to the more wealthy.
Yes.
And it might even be the case that those are the ones that have the animals boarding on board, because wealthy people might want to travel with their horses. So maybe we can find a nice passenger ship that has that, and that's that has the more wealthy clientele.
Yeah, well, we only have 20 pieces of gold.
Yeah, well, we don't have to pay them all up front. We should probably have more gold tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we do have to wait for that guy to give us.
Yeah. He was going to give us a lot of gold, but I was also going to spend most of it, so I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so given the location you're going to, the docks definitely is a term that spans several socioeconomic strata. But where you're looking is very well lit at night, and does have some activity. There are people who are dressed in nicer clothes. You're definitely seeing a security element. Probably a lot of them are private. Some folks are actually escorting people, probably personal bodyguards. A lot of establishments have very discreet security, but when you take a look at the swole person standing in the door, you pretty much know that it's a bouncer or some other security guard. So on its surface, you feel relatively safe. There's also a lot of other restaurants and some nightlife here. Judging from some of the signage that you're seeing outside, you are definitely paying for that security, and you're paying for the services of being safe at the waterfront at night. And you can find your way to, I guess it would be some sort of is there a word for it? Maybe like the dockmaster's office, or some kind of a dispatch that would have the comings and goings of various ships, places that like passenger ships would provide their fares and sell tickets or other things there. So yeah, we'll say that there's a dispatch office, and it has schedules, it has prices, it has the available features, how many people, because you are correct that they will take animals, horses, and other pets have various other additives, and it seems that to be wealthy means that you are afforded many more options, because all these are options that you hopefully can afford. If you're looking, you want something that is secure and is leaving tomorrow, yes?
Well, I don't necessarily. I don't actually know.
We gotta get the money from the other
We haven't
guy.
actually. But what if he doesn't come through? Right? I don't know. But I don't want to stay here any longer than we have to. Maybe we can. Can we get fully refundable tickets? Maybe we can. Maybe that would cost more. I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
You know that they do, and you know that they're going to charge you for overhead bins, and they're going to charge you for. They charge you.
Just give the information, and then when we have the money, we'll buy the ticket.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So maybe we can find some. Let's get a couple of options. One that's leaving like tomorrow evening, and another one that's leaving like the next day, just in case.
Okay. Sure. Let's see. The one that's leaving tomorrow is more of a. It's meant to be more like a cruise ship. So it's not like the gambling. It doesn't have a casino per se, but it's meant to take people on sort of a more scenic river journey. Like all the cabins have windows. They offer nicer foods and services. And then that's when it's leaving tomorrow, but it will have several hundred other people, including some animals. So it is a larger riverboat. The one that is leaving after that is smaller, much more expensive, and it's offered like a semi-private yacht experience, where it might be your party and like 2 other parties that are aboard this ship. So it probably sails a little bit more quicker, it's more expensive, and it's a more personable experience.
Okay, so the first one, interesting. I mean, it would be easier for them to slip a spy on board. In fact, I would be surprised if they didn't have a spy on board just naturally. With the second one, just a few people, probably unless they're actually like explicitly tracking us, they're probably not gonna have anybody on that boat. So I like the second one better, but it means we have to stay here an extra day. And it's more expensive, did you say?
Yes.
What sort of prices are we talking?
Yeah, but we won't even be able to afford the first one if we don't get paid.
No, but let's assume we get paid. I found that wizard to be very trustworthy for some reason.
Yeah, it was just...
called my natural one on insight roll. So, so he had a very trustworthy face. I don't know, maybe it was a disguise and his face wasn't actually trustworthy. I didn't check. But anyway, I'm assuming that he'll pay us and he's not just going to cheat us. And then we won't, because it doesn't matter anyway. If he cheats us, we're just going to have to walk anyway. So, anyway, what sort of prices are we talking for the two options?
Okay, so if you're going for the larger, like the scenic people mover, that is more upper class, we're gonna say that this is 75 gold for each of you.
Oh no.
And then it'll end up being an extra 20 to make sure that Brayson is fed and groomed and kept safe.
I think that's the best for Brayson.
And if you want to go for the smaller, it is going to go up to 115 gold each for the more intimate experience.
And how much for Brayson?
And Brayson will still be 10.
Oh, you said 20 before.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then
we could find
I'll say 10 because y'all are they just shifted it, right? They're passing the cost on to you as the people, so it seems like a good deal.
Okay, so we'd be looking at 170 for the first option or 240 for the second. That's not that much of a difference in price, really. Boy, it's a lot of money though. Fuck, this is a lot of gold.
The boats are faster.
I'm not sure how much faster it would even be. I mean, it's a slow boat.
Can we find a faster boat? It doesn't have to be a really fancy boat.
The difference, depending on any currents or weather or whatever, between the current 2 options would be like a day and a half. So not a terribly, because you're not going super duper far, but you have a big slow moving kind of sightseeing cruiser, and then you have one that's just, you're getting a nice ride down the river, and they're going to get you there more quickly.
Do they have like cheaper, like lower class rides though? 'Cause we don't have to do the fancy.
There are, but the place that you're looking is for more of the first class ships.
So we'd have to look elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there could be something that would be, I don't know, like a cabin without a window that could save a little bit of money. But for the most part, you're paying for the ship, the taking the time, or the staff and all this other stuff. So I mean, we might be talking a little bit of a difference if we're pinching our gold. You might be able to get.
Here's a thought. Oops. So that's just lethality. Okay. Do they have the ability to ship Brayson and we can have somebody meet us there?
Yeah. Animals can be led down. Can either be put down on the river or could just be led on the road. And actually, in that case, I mean, depending...
No. I mean, just like ship Brayson on the boat, but then, like, for the humans? You know, like just to ship him as cargo.
Yeah, you can find shipping services like that. They'll take your animals and ship them along. If you didn't want it as if you didn't want it as like, well, this is my companion animal, and you know the noble thoroughbred steed that our family has been raising forever and should be traveling with us aboard this riverboat. You know, if you want to ship Brayson in a box, I mean, not in a box like they're going to abuse him, but if you want to ship them like animal cargo, then yeah, they can put them in a crate and ship them downriver. That's fine.
Well, I would like to take Norallie aside.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's another option, right?
What's the action?
So, we could. You know how we've been talking about paying to get on the boat?
Yeah.
We could get on the boat and not pay.
Yeah, that sounds like something my brother would suggest.
Yeah. So it has several options. It has several advantages. First, if we don't have to pay, we get to keep the money, so that's great. Secondly, if we do it that way, we don't have to tell anyone we're going on that boat, and it'll be harder for them to know where we went. And thirdly, more fun.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, I think that's the sort of thing we'd both be pretty good at, because you know how to turn invisible, and you know how to make me invisible too. And I have lots of tricks. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to hide because I'm little and I don't take up very much space. And I have lots of illusions and tricks. I just have a lot of things I can do and so do you. I think we're probably able to do that pretty well. And it just seems like it might be a better choice for us right now. What do you think? We don't even have to worry about making appointments. We can just kind of go. But the only trouble is we might have a hard time getting Brayson on the same boat with us, but I think we can probably make that happen.
We can do that, maybe. Although, yeah, we could. Turning invisible, you know, it doesn't last too long, though. About an hour, unless you try doing something, and then suddenly, oh, you can see me.
Yeah. So that's okay, because we only need to be invisible like while we're actually getting on and off the boat. The rest of the time we can just hide. There will be lots of places on the boat to hide. And we can find them while we're invisible.
We could do that.
So do you want to try it, or do you want to keep looking for some place where we can?
Well, we could try.
Okay, I knew you'd enjoy it. See, I mean, when you find your brother, this is the sort of thing he's going to want to do all the time. So this is really just good practice for meeting him again.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we go back to the stag, and now we know where to go. Did we get enough information to know where these boats are?
Yeah, there's various the signage, even in the, I guess, like the more rough, you know, or not rough like criminal necessarily, but just, you know, like industrial ships or ships that are just really for cargo, not really for people. Everything is very well labeled. Different docks, different blocks, that kind of a thing, all along the waterfront to make sure that people can get to where they need to go. So that is very well organized.
I have dancing lights if it gets dark too.
And we both have dark vision.
Yes.
Oh, why don't we go back to the stag? We'll try to get some rest. I don't know that I'll sleep very well, but we'll try. And then we'll be ready. Does that sound fun?
Yeah.
Here we go then.
All right. So you head back to the Howling Stag, and there you perform your alarm ritual, I presume.
I'll alarm the room.
All right. Hibbity jibbity gobbledygoo.
I'll put Herbert near the window.
Okay. Then you tuck in for the night. Alarms are up.
Okay.
Presumably the animals are where they need to be, and the plant is as well.
And before bed, I'll just cast a detect magic too.
Okay. You are not picking up anything in your radius.
Okay, I feel better. Not good, but better.
Little steps. But such is a gnome's life, a bunch of little steps.
Yeah, little steps are pretty much the only kind of steps we do.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You are not murdered in your sleep.
Hey. Call me paranoid, but I really don't like to be murdered.
You're paranoid.
I think in the circumstances, a little paranoia is called for.
Let's not murk the party.
You get up, enjoy the continental breakfast, and
Norallie, I have a lot of magic to practice, so maybe you could breakfast and just bring it up. Some, no meat.
Okay, but I don't know if they're gonna have bananas.
Oh, they probably won't have bananas. That's okay. Even if it's just like carrots and things, that's fine.
Okay. I'll go get some of that.
Yeah,
Alright.
I really appreciate that.
Okay, yeah, you go down there, and there is, in fact, just a table of some pretty basic foods. Nothing looks like decrepit. It's not like old withered carrots with like a fly just kind of buzzing around it or anything. It's standard fare. You're getting some, some vitamins and minerals. Everything's pretty decent. So yeah, you can eat. You can grab something to bring up to Bright. Unless you're going out of your way to do anything else. I can say that the animals have also not been murdered. So Mordecai and Brayson are in the stable here as well.
That's. I'd probably make 2 plates and bring them up.
Okay. Yep, so people are out and about. Here, because there actually is food, there are people who are sitting about and eating. And a couple of them like, oh, good morning, just kind of being polite. Again, this town is, vibrant. It just has an energy to it. So you grab the plates, and when like a person makes a side comment like, oh well, aren't you the hungry one? Oh, you poor dear, look at you, look at your skin and bones.
Yeah. I don't need to when we're out on the road. Rations, you only get 1 a day. I mean, you can eat more than 1 a day, but then they don't last as long.
What sort of cruel taskmaster has a lovely lady like you just marching about on the road?
Oh, well, I'm traveling, so, we just walk, and we don't have a wagon or nothing, so it's a lot of walking.
Oh, well, I suppose it'll do you good. Stiff upper lip, hang in there, and all that. Well then, go and eat. Are you like a pilgrim, or what? What has you traveling?
No, I was traveling because my brother kind of left town, and he didn't see when he'd come back, but now I know he's on his way back, so I'm trying to catch up with him. And, it's confusing. I'm probably going to get grounded when I get home, but whatever.
Oh, you poor dear. Well, I hope you find your brother. Mesomaska can seem like a big place, but it's not as big as others, and I really think that, he only has so many places he can go. I wish you well on your journeys, little lady.
Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
And then I'll bring the food up.
If I were a tiefling and had a daughter, I'm sure she'd look like you.
Say the last part again?
If I were a tiefling and I had a daughter, I'm sure she'd look just like you. He's trying to compliment you, kind of sounds like... In the exact circumstances I described, then this would happen. Well, yes, but... Alright, so, well-meaning guy, he wishes you well, and you bring your 2 plates up to your room.
People are just really nice in town. I couldn't find any banana, but I got you what I could.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you so much. What did she bring?
Let's see. Some apples,
Doesn't really matter.
some pieces of bread. Yeah, just
These are nice things. I like these things. It's good to have some bread to go with the vegetables. Just breaks up the taste a little bit. Okay, so I'm still practicing my magic. There's a lot to practice. So, do you remember those that I conjured up in Mordecai's show? Fire and steam and smoke guys? Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
I'm trying to decide what spells to learn. Do you think that those would be useful on the boat? Because they can also fight for us. They're pretty good. And there's not very many of us, and if we had to fight... But at the same time, very... I mean, if we don't need them, we don't need them. And I have lots of other illusions and disguises and things that might be more useful.
Well, if we do get into a fight, that'd be useful. Not a lot of... Because, you know, Fenry could probably help out, because he's a big boy, but...
he doesn't work for like 4 more days, right?
Yeah, I don't know when I can use him again.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long wait.
Literally like 1 day for a week. So. Yeah, so I don't really like need to practice spells in the morning. I just do them. So
different for me.
Yeah. Although I do still do my breathing exercises because Mr. Halver says it's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So it's kind of, so I have 3 choices. One of them is, it's the little fire guys. And then the second one, do you remember when we banished that demon? That was at Bambardalus's house, his ex-wife came? Yeah. So that's a really good spell too. But unless we're attacked by another demon, they'll just come back after a minute.
And like it didn't work on the tree.
Yeah, but the tree was pretty special. I don't think it would always be. Yeah.
Maybe you should do the summoning things, because that should...
And then the third choice is, yeah. Yeah, okay. I think you're probably right.
That's
what I was thinking.
Front desk.
Okay.
On your door.
Okay. I cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
I'll walk up and answer the front door.
Okay. You open it, and there is there's someone dressed in the hotel uniform, and he has a package. I believe that this is to, well, not to you. Is there a tiefling girl here?
That'd be me.
Oh.
Yeah. We were expecting a horse's head.
I certainly hope there's not a horse's head in here. I have a package to deliver to you.
I'll take the package.
Okay, so Norallie,
she's right here.
You come over, hands you, fairly, not a horse head sized, but hands you a fairly sizable package. Yeah, I guess it's all taken care of. It was sent up to you. If you need anything else, well, come down to the front desk. We'll offer you the best service we can. And he tips his little bell cap and leaves.
I'm gonna go set the package on the bed and open.
I'm gonna stand back. and this will actually be the dodge action.
Okay. All right. So Norallie, tra-la-la, package on the bed. Dee-da-dee-da-dee. And Bright's just... So Norallie, you tear off the paper on the package. and there is there's a small box, easy enough to pry open, and in doing so, there's it's the fresh smell of leather. And when you look inside the box, there are shoes.
Ooh. Shoes.
They cement.
No, that's nor is there a fish in a rolled up newspaper or anything else along those lines. But there are a pair of leather shoes. Smell very fresh, very nice. Maybe not necessarily your fashion or your size, but there's shoes in there.
I don't think you should put them on. Let me check them out first.
Okay.
Did they
What color
came
are they?
from?
There is a little card inside.
I'll read the card.
To the lovely wandering urchin, I wish you well in finding your brother. These shoes will help you along the way, and if anyone ever asks where you got them, please say that Gainley Haver gave them to you as a gift.
Oh, they're good. See?
Is this? What's it?
See,
Gailey
these people are
Haver?
nice.
Gainley
Yeah.
Haver.
Who's that?
How do you spell that?
Gainley Havor.
Can you type that?
Sure.
This one.
Oh, who's Gainley Haver, and how do you know them? Is that one of the people that you met on the?
I'm pretty sure. I think so, because they know about my brother, and and they know I'm a tiefling, so they probably want to.
Plumbing the arcane
don't
depths
know her name.
of divination to find out you're a tiefling.
Remember how we changed hotels? Find us? And now they still found us? See, that's the sort of thing that I'm worried about.
Hmm.
Okay, I would like to... It has to be a ritual.
Okay.
Mind if I fondle your shoes for 10 minutes?
Yeah,
Lace.
I'm not even sure if they're my size yet.
Check the tongue.
Okay, so I'll identify the shoes in the hopes of learning any magic about them and also what size they are.
Okay. Well, they certainly smell like fresh leather, although I don't know if that offends you or not. But they appear to be very new, very nice. They don't fit Norallie, but they do have a magical glow about them, and as you're identifying them, these are shoes that will let her travel more easily. Very specifically, they're not so much boots, but they are shoes of striding and springing.
Aw, it's too bad they don't
See,
fit.
well, usually magic shoes will fit almost anybody that's just like even approximately the right size. Like there's this old story about someone who accidentally killed a witch and put on her shoes, and she was able to use them to travel long distances. It's kind of like that. But the trouble is, take these and you're indebted to them, and then they'll come to collect. I think you should give them back.
You guys keep giving back gifts. Like, first it was the flower fields, and now this, and it's just like, when someone gives it to you, they can't take it back. You can't ungift something.
Yeah, it's not so much ungifting that's the problem, it's what they come looking for afterward.
I mean,
It's
what
better
would
to
you
not
do?
owe things to people, especially to, the Thieves Guild.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What's a thieves guild? There's no guild.
Yeah.
I would
We're
know
called the
about it
Thieves
if
Guild.
there was.
Okay. So,
Don't
yeah.
think about that too hard.
Okay. Well, I didn't identify a curse on them, but the thing is, with curses, you don't always know So I would recommend not putting them on because then they could probably, I mean, you know what we should do? I mean, if you're really not concerned, if you're really not concerned about what they mean or what happens, then we should sell them. And then we'll be safe because they gave it to you, like magically they could be scrying on them. He did because they still found us.
Well, I mean, it'd be fun. But I guess we do need money. We don't know if that guy's gonna pay us. So.
Oh, I mean, he might be able to buy the shoes too. I mean, they are magic.
He could. Kind of be rude though, don't you think?
Hey.
Be rude to sell a gift.
Yeah.
Even if someone gave it to you.
Gift. So you could do anything you want with it.
I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it, because, you know, if the guy doesn't give us enough money, maybe then we could sell the shit.
Okay. Well, maybe there's something you'd like better. Is there any other kind of... I mean, you had a chance to look around in the store. Was there anything else you wanted? Maybe you can trade them for something.
Not really. I mean, maybe I could look if there's any magic stuff I could get, but... Or, you know, like spells. Or, you know, those scrolls that have spells. But, I don't know. I looked at one and it was hard to read. I don't know what it was for.
Yeah, scrolls are... I don't know. Okay, so...
You're gonna repack up the boots and take them to the scroll store? You gonna wear the boots to the scroll store?
Please don't wear the boots to the scroll store.
I won't, fine. I won't wear the shoes. Let's go to the store.
You put one on the end of your tail? The wonderful thing about tieflings is tieflings can do wonderful things. Just go bouncing around on a striding and springing boot on your tail.
I want to be an orange tiefling though. That'd be great.
Oh gosh. Very well. You cautiously yet remorsefully place these shoes back in the box, and you're gonna make your way to the magic shop. Dun, 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 dun. And sure enough, it is open for business. And you go walking in, and there is the young apprentice who is minding the counter. Welcome to... Oh, it's you again.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I was expecting you. Oh, wait, I shouldn't say that. People tend to take that the wrong way. I was magically expecting you. Right?
It's not better.
Oh. I knew you'd be back. How about that? I'm trying my best.
Fine. No, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, we kind of said we were coming back, so good that you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have business to finish. We were supposed to come back today.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have... You had an order for some scrolls, and then I'm supposed to ask you how you want your change back, because it's a lot of money, and we might be able to get all coins for you, or let's see. Oh shoot, where was it? And he's looking around, kind of opening drawers. Oh yes. The equivalents can be made up for with gems of certain cut and color. They can be made up for in store credit, if you would like to open an account with us. Or we can provide you gold, but that could take a little extra time. It looks like those are the things that I can give to you.
We should get this now.
We might end up spending most of our change, so in that case, it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, I
Oh.
think gems is probably the best way. I mean, store credit would be nice. I would just love to be able to shop here all the time, but we're probably moving on, and we probably won't be here that much longer. What happened to your master? Is he not here today?
Oh, he's he's here. Well, he's not here. He's out shopping right now. I think he has to go pick up some supplies to make some inks.
Of course. Yeah, inks is one of the things we wanted.
We have some here. Probably if we're going to be purchasing it, it's to make replacement ink, or just because, well, I mean, we're a scroll shop and we should probably have some. And
ink
definitely,
is probably a big deal in your business.
oh yes, and it's just it's a real shame that we need some replacement. And anyway, I'm sorry, I'm kind of babbling a little bit. And he
No, it's fine. You know, you can do a lot of fun things with magic ink. So one time when I was at the wizard school, as you might imagine, the wizard school goes through lots and lots of ink, and they just keep it in big barrels. And so sometimes people would, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but sometimes people would take the ink out of the barrels, and they would switch it with like squid ink.
And then
right
what?
By the, well, then what would happen is you would I mean, when you would write your magic, it just wouldn't stay in the page. It would just disappear. And then sometimes people would take the ink that they stole and sell it on the black market.
Oh, how horrible! I'll have to remember that when I go to wizard school.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a tradition, and you know, not everybody has a lot of money, and those that don't sometimes have to pay their way however they can. And the wizard school knows that this goes on, and they like to encourage that kind of thinking. It makes you a better wizard.
Oh, well, good, and he sort of hops down and he's coming around to see you all on the other side of the counter as he hops off the stool. And as he's rounding the corner, you see that there is black ink like flecking from his boots up to his knees, like a splash.
Well, it seems like you already know fun things to do with ink. Though usually we don't jump in it for puddles.
Yeah, it makes you claustrophobic. It's hard to get out.
Yeah, well, I will have to make sure to tell my employer that I was doing some creative thinking when I accidentally dropped a lot of ink on the ground and broke bottles.
Now we know why he's off shopping for ink. Okay, it makes sense.
Did you know that glass vials, just empty glass vials, cost 1 gold piece?
No, I saw the price list.
Yeah, and did you know that glass vials are easily breakable and you can break a lot of them with a little oopsie doodle?
It seems like you have a lot of trouble with that sort of thing. Do you want me to teach you a spell that will help you maybe not need to be so clumsy all the time?
I'd appreciate it, but I was told I need to wear this as a reminder.
Hey. Okay, well, I mean, I hope you get into wizard school, and I hope you learn to be a very good, very powerful wizard.
Oh, thank you. I sure hope so.
Okay, so let's find out what we got, because I know there were a couple of scrolls on special order, and because I really wanted Nistle's magic aura, and I know that's kind of an unusual one because nobody ever wants it. Not that it's rare, it's just nobody ever wants it. And then there's a couple others that I was looking for too. And then, of course, the ink. And then I think we might actually want to trade for a different magic item if you've got something fun. Because I know Norallie, well, I'll let her speak for herself.
Oh, Norallie, what do you have?
Well, I got some shoes and they were a gift, but I don't think they fit because Bride said they weren't my size. So, but they're magic, so we thought maybe we could sell it to get some extra money so we can buy more things.
Oh, yeah, let me take a look at them.
Are your hands free of ink?
Mostly, yeah.
New. Well, you can look, but don't touch them if you have ink on your hands.
Oh, yeah, it's really just mostly underneath my fingernails right now.
Okay.
So he kind of dumps them out on the counter. Oh, wow. these are magic shoes.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh. Did I at least sound authoritative when I said that?
No.
I'll have to work on that. Well, part of my training, you're supposed to really speak with passion and knowledge, and I hope I had at least one of those. Well, I don't know. Oh, hang on. I'll go get it. And he hops down, goes into a back room, comes back out with a wand. Aha!
What's that?
A wand.
What's it do?
Magic.
What type of it?
Oh, it's the kind that it tells you stuff.
You might need to be a little more specific. Does it, like, tell you what other people say? Because I've heard that one. Or does, like, it tell you things that no one else says? Because that's kind of weird.
Oh, I don't know. Let's find out.
Don't cast magic at my magic shoes.
He tapped the wand against him, and there's a bit of a, like not like an explosion or anything, but just sort of like a little like, boom, like an effect happened, like a little chime or something, and he, oh. Wow.
Exclamation point appears above the shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I guess, hang on. Yeah, these shoes are, they really help you get around. And,
Yeah.
they help you just really kind of just jump and play. Oh, and you can haul a bunch of stuff. Like, you know, you're really, you know, you don't look too strong, but I think you are strong. And it's not because you're a girl, because that's not it. I just think that
No, I can't
that you're just really pretty. I mean, strong, and you're just really, but this will make you stronger? Or wait, does it make everything lighter? Oh, magic is really confusing sometimes. But anyway, yeah. These shoes check out as they're magical. I can give you a quote. I have a book I can look at.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Sure.
Just so we have a thought of what it could cost.
And he disappears behind the counter, bright. You just see kind of like a compendium, like a thick, not a dictionary, like an encyclopedia, like an extra thick volume of just like magic items. And he just sort of, the cover just goes over, and he starts.
I'm kind of peeking into the book just to see.
Nice heavy parchment. Oh, just the smell of the ink and the paper and the glue binding, and nice big book, beautiful handwriting, and some sketches and other etchings are inside.
It's really well made, and it's just a price list, but it's still really nice.
It is pretty much just a reference here. Oh, let's see. Oh, you know, for these, they look like they're in pretty good condition, and this is what the wand told me they do. Yeah, you know, I could probably... Oh, hang on. Let me see here. And he takes one of the shoes and kind of like lifts it up and is... Oh, there's the maker's mark. Ah. Yeah? Yeah.
Oh, there's a maker's mark. I didn't notice that. I guess I was looking magically. I wasn't looking physically quite so much.
Yeah, so these are Haver boots.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently he's a manufacturer of some good reputation. A fantastic cobbler. Oh, wow. Wow, did you get these here? Did you buy them at the shoe store?
No,
You didn't steal them from the shoe store and are fencing them here like, you know, Magic Inc. in a wizard school. I heard that was... Oh, and he looks at you, Bright. I heard that's what you told me. I'm sorry. I was trying to sound knowledgeable.
I just told you that.
Yeah.
I just told you that like a minute ago.
I listen.
You don't have to pretend.
So yeah, I think for these, yep, okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as they're not, illegally, gained in some way, I bet I could give you, I'm supposed to give you 210, but I suppose I can give you 200 on them. Oh, wait. It was supposed to be the other way around. Take that back. I suppose that I can give you a 190, but I'll give you 200 on these boots.
What about 210?
I kind of accidentally said that.
Yeah, but you said that, so now you gotta.
And let the record show that you said that without any magic being used from our side.
Norallie, would you like some sort of a persuasion or other appropriate? I think persuasion is probably the most appropriate, but. Oh, 21. Just look at that. No advantage or disadvantage needed. Though that a 1 did sneak in there. If it was a disadvantage, it would have been a 1. So that's a warning shot, I guess, here. I already got to work off. 30 vials. What's another 10? Sure, I'll give you an extra 10 gold on them.
Hey, you. That's so nice of you.
Well, I don't want to brag, but and he leans across the counter. I'm the humblest person I know.
That's very nice.
So, well, all right. So that's some. What's that called? It's called pretty cash, I think. Hang on, it gets a box. It says petty cash. It's pretty because it's
pretty too.
Yeah, it's like you, Norallie, and he's taking out he's actually counting out some platinum and gold pieces and setting out the change. Now
I'll prestidigitate flowers on the box of pretty cash.
Oh, okay. Now I need you to sign this form that this is now our property, please, and that you didn't acquire this illegally.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. There's no more money left in the petty cash, but I think my boss always refills it every time it runs out anyway, so I'll just throw this note in here. Closes it, just tucks it away.
He just refills that money. It just doesn't come from anywhere. He just refills it. It's like refilling a pitcher of water. You just
just keep filling up the petty cash until Now your other things, let's see. One moment, and he goes to the back, and he pulls out kind of a drawer that has a lid on it as well. Brings it out, and there's some scrolls inside that you had ordered.
Yeah, some scrolls and some ink. So what do we have?
You wanted the Nistles. You wanted there was another. It wasn't divination. There was another. I don't have your inventory in front of me.
So the one that I was most interested in is Nistles.
Yes.
But I also requested. I mean, based on what we said out of character, I don't know now. But we also requested message, sending.
Yes. Oh, yep. That's right. So yes. There's ink in there because you wanted enough to transcribe the scrolls into your spell book. Yeah.
So. There's also kind of a snag with the class respec in terms of how much ink I need. Because you get discounts on based on your spell school. So there's also that. I mean, if those are not the right scrolls, that's fine. Although Nistles is one that I've really wanted for a while.
We're dealing with kind of a fungible amount of money, so we can kind of use this as a transition period between divination bright and illusion bright.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I mean, there's ink in there, and it's enough to practice. We could say maybe it's a little bit more just in case you slipped up, because those illusory words can be I don't know, maybe their own thing.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. So I mean, just whatever the accounting is.
Yeah, so let's see. He pulls out the list. I think we have. Yeah, it looks like there's about 700 gold or equivalent from the options that I read you. That's left
Okay.
over.
So I didn't actually ask any other scrolls, but I mean, do we have the option to buy other scrolls here, or what's the
Yeah,
deal?
we have a lot of scrolls.
Okay.
And as long as it's the one that you need, we have it right now.
Okay. So there's also. Well, do you have items? Because I think Norallie might be interested in some items. Because she came in with these really nice shoes, and I don't want her to leave without any magic. I want her to still have magic things.
Oh.
Because.
Well, we don't have a lot of items like the boots. Oh, I hope that's okay that I took those in trade now that I think about it. Well, anyway. So I do have some things. Some little some little wondrous items, and if you want, for example, if you want, there's this little, and he'll grab it. It looks like a bronze beetle, fairly large, and he lifts its wings up, and inside is a little just a hollowed out area. You put ink in here, and then you set the beetle on a piece of paper, and as it crawls across the things that you say, it wiggles its butt on the paper and it writes out what you say. It's really neat.
I don't think that'd be, well, at least not for me. Because I can just write things if I want to, and I talk really fast, so I don't want to.
The beetle would just dance really fast. It would be like a bee, doing that. That's how they talk to people. So this is just like that, except.
Let's see. I have some powder that can preserve parchment. I think it's called parchment preservation powder.
I don't think we need that. That doesn't sound very useful.
You
have?
Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let me check one more place. And he roots through and he puts another box, or it's another drawer that has like a lid that can slide up and off of it. There's one more interesting thing that I think we got in recently here, and in particular, Norallie, roll a percentile for me, please.
157.
Oh yeah. So he roots around inside. He's like, oh, I guess this is in storage. It looks like we ended up getting in trade for some other scrolls. It's some leather armor, and apparently, it's really good leather armor.
I don't really know how to wear armor and like.
On your body.
Yeah, but like, it'll cover up my pretty dress.
How much do you want for the armor?
Let's see. This is.
Neither of us needs armor, but I know someone who could really use some special armor. I mean, I don't know if he even still needs it or not.
This armor is it's 750 gold.
That's a lot.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
and what does it do? Like, how good is it?
Let me see. Where's the notes? Hang on. Oh, yes. It not only can size itself to you, and not that you're fat or anything, Norallie. I mean, not that. I mean, I'd love to see you in the armor. Not that. I mean, I'm just. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet now. I guess it's just. It's really good. Oh, this looks like you're supposed to wear it out in the rain and it keeps the rain off. No, not the rain. Oh, lightning. Oh yeah. So if you're ever hit by lightning, it's supposed to help you not get hit by lightning as hard.
Oh, well, I usually hit things with lightnings.
Yeah, she's more on the supply side of lightning.
Oh. Well, so there's that. Aside from that, really, I just have... Oh! I have a piece of chalk that almost never runs out.
Almost?
Almost.
Yeah, that almost kind of worries me a little.
Well, it only kind of runs out if you accidentally break the chalk, and then it doesn't work.
Hey, you're probably a pretty expensive apprentice to have, aren't you?
I have potential. Yeah.
Yeah, potential. Okay. So, okay. So as far as scrolls go, I definitely want the magic aura, and then we can work out. We can kind of the divination slash confusion. If we also take detect thoughts, which is another spell that could be really useful. And then, I mean, I did say sending. So if sending is there, then I'll take sending. Even though we know now.
I can't read it, but well, that's out of character. I can't read it, but I wanted to get a spell that would make my my pet Herbert talk. Herbert's more of a plant than a pet, but he's the one I'm gonna found.
He's a pet plant.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think we have something like that lets you speak to plants. Sounds kind of strange, but then again, wouldn't talking to animals be strange too? But why do we just consider talking to plants?
Well, no, I want him to talk so he can talk to everyone.
It would be like turning him into not just a plant, but like an actual creature who can move around.
Oh, to make it woke up, I think is the professional term for that. Oh. I bet I could find something along those lines. I'd need just a little bit of time. I gotta browse the catalog. So yeah, just give me a little bit of time. I'll be right back. I'll do the best that I can for you, Norallie. I mean, you too, ma'am, but mostly Norallie. No offense.
It's fine.
And so he goes in the back room,
wink, wink.
Completely leaving you in the store.
I actually say wink, wink.
Oh.
I don't wink.
Okay, so he'll root around for a while, and he comes back and does in fact have and has some scrolls. Now we have the spells you're looking for. Yeah. Tell you what, because if we're going to be talking individual spells and a little bit of more detailed wheeling and dealing, why don't we do that on the side, and then we can do an accounting, with trade in and what you're floating and store credit and whatnot. With that unresolved, because that could mean you could have 700 or more or less gold in your pocket. What else are you looking? I mean, presuming something doesn't happen like a random encounter in the streets, what else is going to be occurring for you? What's your goal for the day? Because you could still catch the one. You can catch the one ship that's leaving today. we'll say it's heading out in about 4 hours.
That was the bigger, faster ship, right?
That was the bigger, slower ship.
Yeah.
The
was a bigger,
smaller
slower
one
ship.
the smaller,
Okay.
quicker is the following day.
But since there's a difference of about a day in their speed, they'll probably arrive at about the same time.
Yes.
Well, I'm not particular which ship we stow away on. I mean, which ship we travel on. Since they arrive at the same time.
I mean, if we're just gonna stow away, we should just find like a cheaper one that'll just transport Mason.
I think if you're gonna stow away, you should stow away on the nicest ship you can stow away on. I'm okay with the big ship. I think it'll be easier to hide on the big ship, one with more people on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should catch this one. It just seems better overall.
Maybe. Yeah, but yeah, we can talk shop on the side.
Okay.
I have a small
Okay.
list.
And then your plan is to have Brayson kind of put it in a box
We'll ship
and
in this
ship
cargo.
Okay.
Well, I'll ship him and Mark because it's not gonna be easy to hide it.
Yeah, Mordecai might
Okay.
be awkward.
Tell you what then, because I do believe that the Gathering of Nerds will be going live soon. I will let's work on the items and then move into how you're going to go about getting on board or the details, because they're going to need a destination, like what are they going to do with Brayson after he's just sort of dropped off, and like who will be receiving him and whatnot. Bright, you've had a little bit of experience with that, just being this isn't your first ship, but you also remember from Mask of Flowers that there's a port authority and some cargo manifests and whatnot.
We'll provide false vapors. We'll say that he's being picked up by somebody that will impersonate when we get there.
Okay.
And we know we'll arrive at the same time, so we know they'll be there to pick him up.
All right. Then, if you're fine with this, and then we'll leave off this session for this week here. It's not exactly like the dramatic cliffhanger, but it is stuff that it's stuff your characters need. It's more, I guess, more mundane but functional. And
It's
then
okay.
we're
I
gonna
mean,
worry about a caper coming up here.
We didn't have as much time, and certainly you had no idea what was going to happen. so it's fine. And
Anything
most of
else
the
from
time
you
on the
then?
other-
Coffee? / Mordecai? No? You're good? All right. Then we will...
Armor sounds really dope, though.
we from afar, just Mordecai's
Yeah.
like, please. Then
I
we'll
couldn't tell
suspend
if,
here.
like, if it had an AC bonus or if it was just resist lightning. If it's just resist lightning, probably not that awesome. But if it also has an AC bonus, then that could potentially be really, really good for you. But I don't know. Usually, magic armor is pretty expensive in 5e because I like armor class to get out of hand. So we'll see.